Holy fuck.
My friends, we are gathered to celebrate those responsible for our victory. Of those who stood against the Darkspawn siege of Denerim, there is one in particular who deserves commendation. The one who led the charge against the Archdemon and killed it remains with us still. An inspiration to all he saved that day. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the hero of Ferelden. The first Grey Warden to defeat the Blight since Garahel 4 centuries ago. Grey Warden. It is hard to imagine how you could have aided Ferelden more. I think it only appropriate that I return the favor. Is there any boon you might request of Ferelden's queen?
A title and the riches to go with it, I think.
My father's Ternir in Gwarren stands empty, as does his estate, and I gladly pass both on to you. Let it also be known that the Arling of Amaranthine, once the land of Arlhow, is now granted to the Grey Wardens. There they can rebuild, following the example of those who went before them. What are your plans? Will you remain with the Grey Wardens?
I know I could have said the Circle of Magi's independence, but that doesn't really fall into her jurisdiction. It's a matter of the Chantry, not of every kingdom. Even the Winter has circles of magic. Alright. I think you will need my help in bed.
You are no doubt correct. Having you near at hand would be a great relief. There is a group of eager Ferelden citizens waiting outside to get a look at their hero. I suggest you make at least a brief appearance before they storm the gate. Just tell the guard at the door when you are ready.
Okay. Morrigan. After the battle, Morrigan disappeared. Morrigan... Okay, doesn't matter. And I noticed that neither Sten or the Golem uploaded. And I talk more to my queen, my sweet, sweet
Allow me
queen.
to offer you my personal congratulations, Warden. I must admit that while I did not share my father's pessimism regarding the Grey Wardens, I had my doubts that such a small number of you could be victorious. Yet here you are.
Damn right.
Normally I would call that bravado, but it seems your confidence is deserved. Now I see Arl Eamon gesturing to me. There is more work to be done. I must take my leave of you, I fear. Enjoy the rest of the celebration, Warden. I shall speak to you again before the day is done.
Nice. She's insinuating
No need to
herself.
hover, Warden. Enjoy your celebration. We can speak later.
Yes. Yes, we can and we will.
So it appears that Riordan was wrong. I find it difficult to believe that he deliberately misled us. Have you another explanation for what happened?
Morrigan helped me with her magic.
I should have known. I witch disappeared not long after the battle and has not been seen since. I assume this was expected. Still, the Orlesian Grey Wardens have been persistent in their questions. I intend to keep any thoughts on the matter to myself. I understand you will be remaining here. I've been tapped to lead up the Grey Warden recruitment efforts here in Ferelden. Anora's influence, no doubt. I would have preferred she not interfered.
It seems a fitting task.
True enough. Allow me to say before I go that you've earned my respect. Odd that I ended up here saying that, but there it is. Return to your celebration. Perhaps we shall meet again.
Perhaps. So 100 hours and 10 deaths. Most of them in one single place. That is crazy.
How incredible that it survived. It has exceeded my expectations.
I did better than survive.
I will agree with that, grudgingly. Thankfully, it appears to be the exception when it comes to its kind. Otherwise, I might be forced to revise my opinion completely. But it is time for me to find my own way. Its quest is done now, and thus it is less interesting than before.
What are you going to do now?
Travel. North, I think. Or perhaps east. Though there is an ocean that way. I may walk on the bottom. I don't know. Perhaps I will meet it once again in its travels. Or perhaps not. Either way, I wish it well. These people seem very excitable. One would think they'd be quieter and wanting to rest after that whole ordeal.
Enjoy your celebrations, Warden. Remember that people expect much from their heroes.
And I expect much from my servants.
It is very strange to hear so many speak of a mage in such glowing terms. Deserved, of course, but still not what I am accustomed to. Allow me to offer you my congratulations, and my thanks. The tower is now nearly restored to order. It could have been so much worse.
It almost was.
Indeed. Let us hope the people never realize how close we came to disaster. It pleases me to see such a young pupil achieve prominence. I look forward to watching what you accomplish next. Now, I should leave you to your celebration. Uldred's revolt has left me very quick to tire these days. Retirement will come soon, I think. Don't forget that all this adulation could change very quickly. It is something we all live with.
So here we are. The conquering hero has won the day, and now he takes his bow and exits the stage. A fine ending.
Why not? Fucking Morrigan is gone. You should be taking a bow with me.
And my part was small. I'm happy to watch you receive the accolades. It's quite fun. You know, I can't help now but think of my vision. Whether it was the Maker sending me to you or whatever, it was a good thing. I thought I was supposed to save you, to show you the way. But it seems it was meant to be the other way around. Odd how that works, no?
I don't think it was the Maker, to be honest.
I know. It's just very dramatic. I'll have to remember to write it down. I've been offered a position to head up an investigation into the Darkspawn. It's quite exciting, really.
Do you need help?
Oh no, you have your own things to keep you busy, I'm sure. It will be a grand adventure of my very own. I'm looking forward to it. At any rate, You should get back to the celebration. We can speak another time.
Okay, denied. Left and right.
If I write a tale about all this, I'm leaving out details on the food. They don't even make good food here in the palace.
Okay.
The hero of Ferelden. My. How does it feel?
They could have thought of a better name.
Anora's idea, I understand. The girl does like to get to the point. But it's not so bad, is it? A blight defeated with the other nations barely becoming aware. Who could ask for better?
I wonder how long the love will last.
Until you do something wrong. And then they will enjoy tearing you down just as rapidly. I'm glad not to be on the receiving end of all this attention myself. I say, let the young have their fame. Not that I've gone without notice. Irving asked me to take over as first enchanter, but I don't wish to go back. Not after all this. Instead, I've decided to accept a position here at court. There's not been a mage advising the throne for a very long time.
And Nora asked you to stay?
She seems willing to consider the idea of improving the lot of mages in Ferelden, and I am committing to seeing that happen if I can. I understand you are remaining in Denerim, so we will likely see each other a great deal. I look forward to it. For now, I imagine the hero of Ferelden still has much to do. Good luck. All this talk is tiring. I think it is time for me to sample some of that lovely cider I smelled earlier. Now, where did it go?
Ogren with his fellow dwarves.
Humans have a better taste for spirits than I thought. The ale up here is actually good. Orsamar ale tastes like dirt in comparison. Probably because they put dirt in it. Go figure.
Does that mean you're staying here?
For now. They may have already branded me a surfacer back home anyhow. I got offered a spot in the human army. And not as a mascot either. You know, these humans aren't bad for all their long legs.
General Ogren? Not likely.
Yeah, makes me wish Bronca was still around so she could see what she's missing. Stupid girl. Ah, well, enough babbling. That pot-bellied son of a whore Tegan said I'd pass out before drinking an entire barrel of pickle juice. I aim to prove him wrong.
Don't ever change.
Who, me? It's been good traveling with you, Warden. Don't get lost in the shuffle now. Pickle juice.
Pickle juice? What the fuck? The freaking dog, I cannot talk with it.
It is good to see you again, Kadan. These people, they call you hero. It is a strange word, but I think I understand its meaning. The Arishok on occasion has declared a Kunari to be Kunoran Vel, one who serves as an example to others. Such examples are always made after their death, however, a death in service to the Kyun. A living Kunoran Vel would be too proud.
Do a Kunari celebrate and put on parades?
When a Kunoran Vel is declared, certainly. It is one of few occasions when the Kunari are permitted to engage in revelry.
There is imbibing of spirits, public chanting, meditations abandoned. It is madness.
That would be a sight.
It is interesting. It can take days for the Ben Hasrath to restore order. There may even be executions. I suppose I should tell you. I have decided to return to my people. Your quest is done, and thus so is my reason for accompanying you.
I don't think it's a good idea to go into the heart of Qunari-occupied lands. That will be a long trip home.
Yes. It will be difficult to travel alone, after so much time spent with companions. It must be said, you found my sword and gave me a chance to restore my honor. I owe you a great debt.
And I will collect on that one day.
Should I be in a position to repay, I will, whatever is asked. Perhaps I shall see you again one day. Until then, may you always find the path you seek. Farewell, Kadan.
I wonder what Kadan means.
Where is the cake? I was told there would be cake. The cake is a lie.
Amazing. Okay.
Are you ready, my lord? The crowds outside are getting restless.
Yes, I am ready. Let's go.
Right. I'll take you there now. Follow me.
In the months that followed her coronation, Honora proved herself an adept ruler. Trade agreements with other lands quickly brought new funds into the royal coffers, and with them the queen saw the capital rebuilt. The army was restored, laws were passed to encourage freeholders to produce sufficient harvests, and plans were conceived for a university. And the years passed, and Nora continued to rebuff the advice of Ferelden's nobility, requesting that she remarry. Though prospective suitors from other nations visit Denerim from time to time, the Queen's only comment is that all of them fall far short of the bar she measures them against, that of her father. I wonder if she also measures them in the private parts department. Doesn't matter. News of the urn of sacred ashes had been found in Ferelden did not spread outside the chantry until Brother Genitivi made an announcement several months after the defeat of the Darkspawn. The manuscript detailing his research and his experience with Andraste's cult drew huge interest among scholars throughout Thedas. Attempts to verify Brother Genitivi's claims, however, proved impossible. Agents of the chantry sent into the mountains for little more than empty ruins. There were no cultists, and more importantly, no sacred ashes. Several years later, Genitivi's research was declared fiction, and his work discredited. He killed himself not long afterwards. Poor Genitivi. When the next snows began to fall, the High Dragon of the temple made its first appear in the skies over Ferelden. As it laid waste to the countryside in its rampage, rumors began to circulate of a strange cult that believed this was Andraste returned. Efforts to locate the dragon's lair failed, and no connection was made to the Urn of Sacred Ashes, while the cult rapidly gained converts. Nice! The chantry in trouble. Following months of effort, the Tower of the Circle of Magi was finally cleansed of the last spirits to slip through the veil. No further abominations were created, and first Enchanter Irving was pleased to declare the circle safe. All that could be saved had been. With the slavers shut down in the alienage, the lot of the city-born elves improved for a time. A food shortage years later forced Queen Anora to come down hard on elven rioters, an act not quickly forgiven, and a sign that tensions between the elves and humans were far from resolved. Shiani continued to be an outspoken member of the alienage community, and in time became the new elder. That outspokenness earned her frequent troll, but served her people well. Harald Emon returned to Redcliffe, beginning the long task of rebuilding. He found the village already prospering and eager to leave behind the memories of those terrible nights facing the undead. While Emon planned to send Connor to a circle of Magi for training, the boy grew strangely ill and the trip was delayed. And then one day Connor simply disappeared entirely. After a frantic search, he was eventually given up for lost. His disappearance remains a mystery to this day. The Eilish elves prospered, fucking elves, after the siege at Denerim. Having earned much respect for their part in the battle, for once human lands welcomed the wandering folk. The new keeper Lanaya was respected both amongst the Dalish as well as in Ferelden court. She was a voice of reason, and the other Dalish clans would turn to her to help resolve dispute with human folk. As for the werewolves, now freed of their curse, they remained together and took the surname Wolf, in memory of what they once were. They eventually became the most successful animal trainers in Thedas, and each year would gather to light a candle in memory of the lady who had loved them so well. In Orzammar, King Balin quickly proved himself a reformer. Trade with the surface lands increased and caste restrictions were loosened. The casteless were permitted to take arms against the Darkspawn in exchange for new freedoms. For the first time in generations, the line in the deep roads was pushed back, and a few dikes were reclaimed. Balin's reforms quickly found enemies within the warrior and noble castes. However, after several assassination attempts, the assembly was dissolved. The king then ruled alone. Some said as a tyrant, others said as a visionary determined to drag Orzammar into the modern world. The dwarven mage Dagna ultimately completed her studies and then revealed Circle Tower on the surface. Eventually, she published a comprehensive theory of how lyrium vapors relate to the supply of magic. It gained a great deal of attention. This inspired mages of other parts of Thedas to establish a new circle of magi in Orzammar itself, one that had ready access to dwarven lyrium and lies outside the Chantry's power completely. Holy fuck! Amazing, I didn't remember this. The willingness of Orzammar to harbor apostates sparked outrage that began whispers that the divine was contemplating a new exalted march. Amazing. It was not long before Branka mastered Karin's technique, learning how to use the Anvil of the Void to create new golems, the first in many centuries. The Dwarven people greeted this news with cheers, though few knew of the cost. At first, King Balin worked eagerly with Branka to provide subjects, willing or not, so that the golems could push the Darkspawn back. This arrangement was not to last, however. Before long, Branka began to refuse to create golems only for the king, who soon banned the use of the Anvil. His men attacked Branka's fortress in the deep roads, forcing her to shut it tight. Years into the siege, Balin was forced to relent. The fortress, guarded by Branka's golems, remained impenetrable. As good as her word, Morrigan disappeared once the archdemon was slain. Someone of Morrigan's description was seen traveling alone months after, heading west through the frostback mountains. She may even have been with child. The ring that Morrigan gave Annus remained in his possession. She had once claimed that it formed a connection between the two, and there came a night when he was sure that she was thinking of him somewhere. She felt regret and sorrow, but the ring told no more. There was no word of her after that. Flemet's hut in the Kokari Wilds was likewise abandoned. One cannot help but wonder, where did they go? What were their plans? What became of the child? These questions must remain a mystery until Dragon Age 3. Alistair was true to his word and did not return to the Grey Wardens. He was last seen before the siege, hiring a remaining ship to take him out of Denerim. An attempted coup to overthrow Anoran a year later bore Alistair's name, but no proof of Alistair's involvement was ever supplied. A haggard, drunken man was seen in a tavern in Stark Haven, bitterly claiming to have once been a Grey Warden and a prince, but drunken men are not so rare. It will be nice to see where he turns up. The companions who had traveled with Annus eventually scattered to the Four Winds, drawn either by personal duty or by the call to further adventure. The hero remained in Denerim, a celebrity amongst the commoners and a fixture at court, at least for a time. As the blighted lands began to heal and the Grey Wardens slowly revealed the order in Amaranthine, they discovered that the fight against the Darkspawn was not yet complete. Although the Horde was routed and had dissolved upon the Archdemon's death, many of the more powerful Darkspawn survived to organize roving bands that preyed both upon the land and upon each other. These war bands spread havoc, and some even journeyed west into Orlais and crossed the Shining Sea by the deep roads. They proved incredibly difficult to wipe out. But these are tales yet to be told. This one ended with when Annus sank his blade in the Archdemon's head and destroyed it forever. It was not the last that Ferelden would hear of him, however. And the game crashes, of course. Okay, now the credits. Amazing. And that's it for the Dragon Age Origins playthrough. I shall continue with Awakening, not today, but next time. Far, far easier than the Xbox version. But far, far buggier as well. Holy shit, if I had problems with crashes, slowdowns, and 10 deaths for 100 hours. I think this is the game I've died the least. I will have to make the calculations later. But that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time when we start Awakening. Until then, long live the Imperium. Goodbye.